Hello everybody and welcome to your coverage of the Epicenter European Qualifier. I've been your host through thick and thin and long bloody games. We went for 5.5 hours, I think it was yesterday, to get through one best of 3. Let's see if we can have a shorter day today, or potentially just good Dota. We had 3 games which almost stretched. 2 of them stretched over an hour. 1 of them didn't. And then the last series was pretty damn quick. That was when Danish Bears, well, they slaughtered. They absolutely slaughtered Polarity. There's no nicer way to put it. Polarity went greed, and Danish Bears just capitalized on it. And we are here to see if Danish Bears and Power Rangers can get into that grand final to face up against No Diggity. They are the team which are currently sitting there waiting for their opponents. Power Rangers were their opponents, and now Danish Bears might be fighting them for that right. A man who definitely has the right to be my co-caster because his knowledge is amazing, and his way of actually putting it into words is even better. It's my co-caster from Complexity, Shawindles. Oh, welcome back, man.
Hey, Toby. Glad to be here. I'm just thrilled, ecstatic for some quality European regional Dota. You know, obviously the best region in all of Dota. So, you know.
Yep.
Definitely not better than America.
Any region where Veggie Esports cannot actually succeed.
What? It's like they've already won a LAN or something in your eyes. Like, I know they're training hard, but there's a lot of teams training hard right now, man.
I'm just saying, man, with the removal of the Peruvian teams, America is looking a little bit more open for the taking.
We've got... I mean, it depends on how many invites go out. We were pretty sure, like we still are kind of sure, that we'd get an invite to the Manila Major, but we were passed up for invites on the teams by teams that we didn't think should for multiple events, so now we're a little concerned. But doing us and EG got invites, and yeah, maybe, but otherwise, man, it's a pretty stacked region, just saying. You still got the Brazilians, got us, DD, Sam, Team Freedom. I mean, you don't know these teams, but they're really formidable.
I know every single one of those teams. Surprising to most people, I do actually do my research on teams. I normally just don't follow it while they're chopping and changing. So in the last week of the roster change, I just said, you know what? I'm out of this. When you're done, I will then look. I'm not going to put myself through the stress of, do they leave? Do they leave? Are they still there? No, I don't go through that kind of stress. And Complexity didn't stress me at all. It was wonderful. Together forever, the brothers, boys. Let's focus on the game because someone likes to do that. As Power Rangers, no surprise again. We saw exactly the same bans by Polarity against Danish Bears yesterday. Take out the Night Stalker, take out the Alchemist. In return, the Earth Spirit ban's a bit of a change up for Ace, but he always removes the Prophet in the first 2.
Yep. They're just not comfortable with the hero, I've noticed. I understand, like, DB is really solid with Alchemist. I mean, there's a reason other teams don't pick it, and I really like the hero. Teams like OG really like it, won a major using it. And I just don't consider its power level to be warranting a first pick ban, you know? If they take it out for the first phase, like, you can just counterpick that really hard. But to each their own, I guess. I like the Puck Lone Druid opener. I think it's just a solid combo. Usually I prefer, because Puck's not really one of those heroes you kind of need the first 2. So I would have preferred it if that was maybe like a support hero. I like CM a lot when there's an edge in the game, but I don't really know. We'll see.
I'm actually a little surprised that they went for the Puck, not just because it's in the first 2, but also because to Rise, they normally just give him the Invoker whenever it gets through the first 2.
Yep, I've noticed that as well. He also just doesn't seem like a Puck player, you know?
A Rise can play... He can play anything. But... yeah, he prefers the more tanky kind of control style heroes. Where Puck doesn't really fit into that kind of... that description at all. But it will definitely be a Rise Puck. Like, it has to be a Rise Puck. Power Rangers don't really screw with the lanes too much. The only, like, side question I've got is, like, do you run this Lone Druid safe or off? That's the only side question I've got.
With a Beast, I actually kind of like matching Lone Druid up in the against the Beastmaster. It's kind of a difficult 1v1. Beastmaster is definitely good against him throughout the game because you can just target down the bear, and
5 seconds remaining.
what a lot of people don't do is you actually want to mana burn the bear because he's only got 300. So if you use your big
Reserve
necro to
time.
mana burn him, then he can't fear with it, which is really big because then you know the fear can only come out from the hero unit. Also, just fun fact: so Danish bears in this event were knocked to the losers bracket, and then they took down Navi, eliminated them from the event. They eliminated Vega Squadron, and they eliminated Polarity. So they took out 3 of the best teams in Europe, I would say,
Dire
get
team
here.
back.
However, they lost to PR 2-0 a couple of days ago in a BTS series, and they also were actually knocked to the losers bracket by PR 2-1. So this team has kind of had their number over the past week or so, but apparently DB is able to beat
10
pretty much everybody
seconds
else.
remaining.
You know, I look at DB like
5
Power
seconds
Rangers
remaining.
used to be looked at. You know, that team that would come in and they would just be able to defeat every top team out there. Like, they do their research, they do their prep, they know them really well, and they just came out, they played their style, and they just won. And everyone's sitting there going, wow, how are these guys not a tier 1 team? And then you go up against a team of equal level or lower level than what we expect them to be, aka, like high tier 2, and they lose. Time and time again. And DB for me is exactly that. Like, when their rotations don't work, everything just falls apart for them. But for some reason, when they play up against top teams, everything just seems to click. And it all seems to work. And then you sit there going, wow, okay, that didn't help. Obviously, the game versus Polarity last night, that 2-0 series, I know you caught a glimpse of it, but it's, for me, I kind of felt like Polarity lost that game themselves.
Oh,
DB
yeah.
did everything right to win the game because they just approached it really well and stuck to their guns. But Polarity gave them 5 million windows to win that series.
Yep, I would agree.
5 seconds
I
remaining.
think it might just be that DBE, while they're not maybe as talented as other teams, they have better they have a good team coordination and just strategies. I think Rise is really solid for them just because he plays like the 4 role that everyone needs right now. He's got a playstyle really similar to DJ's and Fnatic. But when they play against teams like YAR that have been around forever and seem to have pretty good team play as well, but maybe a little more talent, they have a lot of trouble. But I would agree with you. Polarity, individually, like very solid players, but they just looked lost yesterday. I feel like that's just a common symptom of the shuffle. There's a lot of these new teams. If you look at like VP as an example, in addition, that haven't really found their identity yet on a patch that is really, really old.
It's
10
yeah.
seconds remaining.
Let's not get into those teams because I get really depressed when we start
5
talking about that kind of
seconds
stuff. Let's look back to our draft.
Yeah,
Which
sounds
to pick
good.
up has come in for Power Rangers. They decided to actually ban
Reserve
out
time.
both the Invoker as well as the Dro Ranger against DB. Maybe a little bit concerned that the 5 range lineup was bearing down on them, or the 4 range lineup because they've already got the Beastmaster. The Invoker makes a lot of sense too because we don't have Penguin's hero yet. That's still a question mark for us, like who he plays up against the puck. But everything else is pretty much locked in. So it's just safe laner and mid laner now for Danish Bears. And a Tusk our pickup? Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of the Tusk. I think that if you look at Power Rangers draft right now, and this is sort of the issue you have with the puck sometimes, is that they have very limited damage now. Traditionally, you see with the puck, like C-Deck at TI, they did this really cool strat with a Visage and a Broodmother around the puck. Alliance will typically run it with like 2 cores, like a Jug and a Lone Druid with a Jungler, and then in addition, EG will sometimes run it with like a Drow. But if you look at the heroes PRs assembled, like you might hit a coil and I just feel like Puck and Tusk sort of do the same thing. Lone Druid's going to need a lot of time to come online, and then a Witch Doctor's damage output's just not really relevant for quite some time. So if you look at Danish Bears lineup, they're going to be playing Temple Control. They're going to be running that Ench as a 4. It's one of Rise's best heroes, and then a Beastmaster now an Ember. So you can already kind of see that their name of the game is to apply pressure, and I feel like that's where PR is weak. So I kind of like the feel of the draft thus far from DB, and the Ember Spirit's actually really solid as well, because when if he chains the Puck actually can't phase shift, so it's one of the best counters to Puck in my opinion, and one of the only heroes that can prevent him from using that ability.
So are we actually going to find ourselves in a point now where PR don't actually find themselves an aggressive safe
10
laner?
seconds remaining.
Someone that's like it's not even like the timing you're looking for to come online. My mind
5 seconds
went to
remaining.
something like a Slark, someone that would be capable of actually attacking into a Beastmaster or escaping the attacks coming out from
Reserve
Bears or
time.
Enchantress. But I'm almost worried that he's going to come online a little bit too late. Rise is renowned for early rotations on his Enchantress, so it will be a lot of pressure into the safe lane. And it looks like actually Danish Bears are a little concerned about the lack of stuns from their supports, so they take out the Weaver. That's fair enough. Yeah, I just don't know who Power Rangers want to play as their last one. I fear they're going to pick up something like a Spectre to try and get him involved in the fights early on, and that just won't be enough.
Yep, I just kind of, you can already kind of see how this game's going to play out in your head, right? Where
Yeah.
it's just going to be DB just kind of running at PR, and they're going to be like, shit, guys, got like, fuck.
But
What do
back
we
up,
do?
paralyzing cask, please save us.
Yeah, exactly. And something that I think is really underrated right now by a lot of captains in the scene, Jug Pick.
Radiant team
I'll
pick.
discuss that one in a second, but
Yeah.
you
Go on about your captains in the scene.
they don't recognize the importance of global abilities and global presence. So you'll see a lot of the top teams, like they're always running, NP, Beastmaster, all these heroes, Night Stalker even, just heroes that provide a vision advantage, and in addition, heroes that allow you to globally move around the map, or just global abilities,
10
And
seconds
having those makes
remaining.
it so much easier to execute game plans than if you look at PR's lineup,
5
they're just
seconds
so stagnant, and I just feel like they'll be able to be divided and then conquered quite easily. As for the
Reserve
Jug
time.
pick specifically, it is okay against the Ember, and after that Ursa pick, it is really, really bad against all of those other heroes. Oracle, Beastmaster, and Enchantress would all be what I would consider counters to Juggernaut, because they can deal with his spin in multiple ways. Beastmaster specifically is like the go-to Jug counter, in my opinion. So we'll just have to see how this game plays out. The Ursa pick gives them Roche, so it's not bad. I probably would have chosen something else, maybe a Clinks, but I think that pick is solid here. And it also means the Ember Spirit will be mid. And Ember Puck's a matchup I haven't seen in a really long time, so I'm pretty excited for that.
That actually is going to be like in how a Rise plays it. Normally a Rise can be a very, very patient man in the mid and will wait for that jump time. And with the Tuskar pickup, like we see heroes like Earth Spirit rotating into the mid lane. How are they meant to work with these Power Rangers supports?
10
Like, do you
remaining.
snowball in with the Witch Doctor to try and gank up an Ember
5
Spirit?
seconds remaining.
At least the snowball will be able to connect onto the Ember Spirit. It's not like you can searing chains like you can like an SB who's charging in. That's one upside for him.
Yeah. So I mean, the one thing to note in this game, and so if we had Envy here sitting with us, he would just say DB wins because Ember has no counter. And while a hero like Jug is quite good against Ember, what he's going to mean by that is that they don't actually have an ability that can catch the Ember Spirit. So theoretically, a well-played Ember Spirit could run around with like 3 rapiers and a blink, and as long as he plays well and they don't have any hexes, he's not going to die to anything but a mistake. And you'll actually see PR's smoking towards the Radiant side right now.
They did this in 3 out of their 3 games up against Diggity. Exactly the same play. The only difference is they didn't bring their lone druid with them. Cheshire Cat's up on the top lane. But their smoke's already broken. Ace makes a small move up through the side. Yeah.
Yeah,
DP
that's
won't
just
be caught out by this.
30 seconds.
That's just a lack of respect shown to their opponents. I mean, we even switch up our ward spots in between series. You can't do the same smoke. I mean, like Epicenter is a big $500,000 tournament. I don't think that ever is going to work if you've shown that you're going to do it all the time. But I mean, it's 50 gold. It's not really a huge deal.
Yeah.
And in truth, even though
Hello Bear.
we're not.
The battle begins.
It's trying to contest for the top rune. It's going to take considerable damage for this. And it's still the Ember Spirit who managed to get the bounty rune. You lose half your life on your bear for the price of contesting the bounty rune.
They actually chose to go aggressive here, which is a really interesting move. I don't mind it, especially because the Lone Druid will actually do okay in this top lane. Especially if he gets one support to rotate. I think if they just leave maybe
DB
rotate
switched
the
their
Tusk.
entire lane.
The right call here, though. But Beastmaster will have a very hard time, and they already have a ward on him as well. But he will have the pull available.
He'll also get a little bit of information because they've got their own obs down, so they'll know. He'll know when Witch Doctor as well as Tuskar rotate to the mid lane, so Penguin can be as aggressive or as defensive as he wants to be. I still want to keep my eyes on Rise, because he's got him. He's waiting for the 1 minute camp to spawn up, and then he's going to smoke with 2 creeps. At this point, do you try and kill off the lone druid? Like, if you can force the resummon on the bear and then you can kill him off, then I'd be even more for that top lane rotation, or is it worth trying to go for the elusive Arise puck?
You don't gank a puck. It's just not worth your time. I think you 100% you just kill Lone Druid, dive him, and try and like take the tower, or at the very least you force one support to rotate up, which gives the Beastmaster a lot of space. This is a really interesting situation for PR because they're gonna have Tusk start roaming pretty soon because something will have to help deal with this Ench. But Ench, like look at Ench's power right now compared to the Tusk, a level 1 on both heroes. I mean,
yep.
This is gonna be almost a certain kill even with a teleport.
They're coming after him. So here comes your Fortune's End. First blood is actually on the mid lane. There's Penguin that's going to take it. He'll lose his life in return, but Cheshire Cat will also take a fall. So it's 2 for 1 as the trade-off. The Ember Spirit gave up his life, but he doesn't give the experience towards the puck. And it appears even the boys in the background there at the Complexity Team House are even getting excited.
Yeah,
I don't know what about,
I just gave them a lecture. My chef is almost to level 3 on Counter-Strike, and he's very excited. He just killed 5 people with a Glock, Toby. It required, celebration.
That's okay. We'll see if we can muzzle him though for a little bit more of the cast.
Do my best. In the mid lane, that was pretty much exactly what I said. Like, if Ember can just kind of get on the puck and chains him after orb's down, like you can see right now, he's just forcing the orb because otherwise puck just takes massive amounts of damage. So Ember is one of those heroes where this lane can go in favor of puck, but if you get a kill or a gank bottom lane, didn't even notice, but just
they went in very deep. Hestajo is still going to end up going down, as it was the malediction from J4 that did the work, but with the Fortune's End, Goddan's getting slowed up. Ace, he really wants to be able to attack properly into that Juggernaut, but now the big numb's arrived, he has to back out. They put a lot of support in PR. They get very aggressive going underneath the tower. Very aggressive.
Yep. This is just standard, like this team. I don't know what to call these teams. They're not all CIS, but I guess it's just this weird Eastern Euro Dota where there's just so much aggression and a lot of focus on just making movements happen in the laning phase. You've already seen 2 full lane rotations by DB. Chantress is really the guy. He just needs to continue to have an impact in this game. I think DB's in a good position. As I said, there really isn't anything to deal with the Ember, but that would really come online into the more of the late game. I think that the timing for PR to win here is just a max healing ward, a bear that's strong, and maybe like a 25-minute Aegis push.
I think Orion is dead again. Oh, the burn is just not enough. Penguin's not level 6 just yet. His Flame Guard, it's gonna reach Orion in the tree line. Yeah, he's got it. Flame Guard range is also unbelievably big. While on bottom lane, the Juggernaut, they're going to kill off Ursa. Looks like Oracle's also going to pop to Malediction. Goddamn comes underneath the tower just to stay in range. There's still a 2 for 1 trade-off with the 2 going down in favor of the PR aggro tri-lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's hard to work out who really has the upper hand in this game so far. Like, the Ember Spirit seems to be like crapping all over the puck. That we can accept. But this off-lane for Power Rangers has also been quite successful. You got the highest CS on the board by like a good margin is the Juggernaut, who's also got a kill to his name as well.
Yeah. What's scarier as well is that the Lone Druid's having a great time, already level 5, which means the root's available. And Beastmaster, like, I've laned here, you can't do a damn thing. And at a certain point, like, he gets rooted there. If he's just like, if he gets chased into another route, he can just die, especially if there's another hero involved. So this is the dream for a Lone Druid. And in mid lane, I mean, CS is actually being won by Arai still, but you just have to play more passive, because Ember Spirit, as you can see, obviously can't kill him. But I'd say this is going well for PR. They're winning at least 2 of their lanes, which is a really good spot for them to be in. And this Enchantress really just hasn't had much of an impact yet. I expected a little more. But also, he hasn't got any satyrs, so, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, he's fighting Wild Wings and Centaurs and Hell Bears, and that's pretty much it so far. Like everything else but the Satyr.
It's actually worth reiterating, like, the Satyr creep is insane. the nuke does 165 damage with 1200 range, and you have 6 of them, okay? You just send it to a lane, and that lane is now won. There is an extra hero there. It is not balanced. A centaur is like, oh, it's just so bad. Not to mention you get way more levels and experience from killing the Satyr camp. Like, centaur camps are just the worst. Like, every jungler's biggest nightmare is centaurs.
Centaurs used to be a lot better when they had the better aura. And then that aura got shifted over. I think now it's the Hellbear that carries that, right?
The aura, the attack speed aura?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, the Hellbear does.
Yeah.
The centaur
That
is
at
just
least made them
actually
a little
worthless.
bit better.
Yeah. And then, and again, this Beastmaster just died. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Tusk goes in, he catches a root, and then the battle cry gets popped, and he just actually feeds immediately. There's nothing he can do. This game is gonna be on this Ember Spirit. I mean, that's kind of plain from the way the CS is going, but this
That's
Ursa.
where you asked the question. Like, you're saying PR is winning like 2 out of the 3 of their lanes, even if Horizon, even on CS. But the Ember Spirit was the hero you flagged during the drafting phase. He is the big problem here. The PR won't be able to deal with.
Pretty much, they need to win the game before he gets his. He can have bots, he can have Battle Fury, he can even have a Blink. But if they let him get up to like a Daedalus or a Rapier, that's when the game becomes like stalemated, so to speak. Because they obviously can't really siege high ground, but at the same time, they're not going to be able to do shit with him just spamming Slight. So
Yeah.
that's the window PR is looking for, pretty much. And at this point, it looks like Ember's going to have a great game, but like he makes 1 mistake, 1 death. I'd say he can make 2 max. If he died 3 times, game over. PR wins. If he dies twice, it's gonna be scary. Even once might be too many times. But if he plays mistake free, I think DB still win this. But it really is all gonna be on him. The way this is looking to break down.
They're bringing extra help up to the top lane, including that Ember Spirit, because Hesijo has level 6. They want to be able to get themselves a raw initiation with a Spirit Jump opens to be a double searing chains and slide of fist. They're burning so quickly, the snowball will come up, and it's actually going over to the boar on the side. Hesijo does not want to commit his raw, so Penguin just commits his spirits instead. 2 quick kills coming in for the Ember.
And like, how do you stop that? I mean, the Tusk could have snowballed and prevented the searing change damage on both him and the Witch Doctor, but at the same time, I think they're both still dead. And I mean, who's gonna rotate? Puck, level 7. Juggernaut was in the area, but the other hero's a lone druid and farming in the jungle, so that move is kind of always gonna work. But very important. Once again, Ember present in the kills, and he gets both kills as well. Worth noting.
Note the second ace has help from a Satyr. He's instantly diving in behind that tower. Tusker tried to drive the creep wave up, and the upside for him is, like, okay, the creep wave actually splits. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I was expecting the creep wave to keep walking past that tier 2 tower after Tusker.
Oh, I forgot to mention, he also gives, the creep also gives 6 health regen to everyone in an area. Like, do you understand how broken that is? That's more than a ring of health.
Would you
that's
like
pretty much 1,000 gold aura. Yeah, well, it's just stupid, dude. We almost lost at the major because this one team fight we took, Aki just showed up with 3 Satyrs and just fucking Hadoukened us.
I remember.
And we're just like, okay, I guess we're dead. Cool. I'm not really looking for them to be normalized.
That was pretty impressive to watch, though. Like, you have to admit, as a spectator, it looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
Ori's gonna jump himself out, Penguin. Oh, actually, Ori sticks around. He
Oh,
realized
that's really well
Hesijo
played.
was rotating in from behind, but now Hesijo is going to hawk it up so they get the vision. He'll roar down the punt for Penguin. He's going to lose his life for this cause. The only slash being expended there by Goddamn, and Hesijo has no way to outrun this. And it looks like he was also trying to rush up a Blink Dagger over on this Beastmaster. He can only hope he gets denied, but the paralyzing cast flies in. He was not getting denied there.
He should have bought bots, but all good. That was actually well played by the Puck. I mean, he probably got a little lucky, but he hit Ember with the Q and the silence, but the Flame Guard was still active, but the coil broke it. Otherwise, Flame Guard just kills the Puck. Lone Druid's gonna get the deny on bot tower, not a huge deal. The next play for DB here is they need to make sure they're the ones who get Roche. So I expect that to be a point of contention sometime in the next 3 to 4 minutes.
I think the O's are looking for that. Like, the Mask of Madness build is what we've been seeing a lot from the CIS teams. I actually am not certain what Ace normally builds on his Ursa.
He's probably just gonna go the Mask of Madness Blink like everybody else. It's just the way to play the hero nowadays, I think. Their move is just going to be to rotate the Ember top with another smoke, hopefully force some rotations, win a fight, maybe even get a tower, and the Ursa just does Rosh in the meantime with their play. One thing to know, the Lone Druid is very farmed, you know, has the Midas, and he's just going to live in the jungle for a while.
Thing was going on this again. Okay, that Tusk Guard doesn't even dissuade the Ember Spirit. They really need to get a Yule Scepter on a rise. Something to get rid of this damn Flame Guard. Like it's a shame they can't really control a Purge Creep or something. That would be a lot nicer. Unless you want a Dom. Drums coming up on goddamn.
I think
Okay,
I'll just be going to the Drums Battle Fury build.
Yeah. Makes sense. You need a full DPS around that Juggernaut in this game, just in case the Lone Druid doesn't really become that powerhouse. You'd be hovering around Roshan. They actually smoked for this move. They're gonna find the Lone Druid Bear as well as Sigil, which is looking to scout out Roshan, but instead, the Hawk reveals Big Numb over the tree line, instant raw. They find the kill. J4 was moving down like he wanted to fight that, but cannot fight that.
I like this move though. Like they see the Jug still top, so if he were to rotate, they just have the Oracle rotate too, and they just need to go do Rosh, just commit to it.
They need to get that Hawk up so they can get rid of the damn Sigil. There she goes. They see a lot right now, and PR's coming back. Spirit, jump forward. There's Penguin going up for J4. He gets the Malediction off, but the Ember Spirit, still protected by that Flame Guard, will burn down one. Rise out trying to man-fight him. Ace is continuously going on Roshan. As the Omnicide will hunt Penguin, he gets himself up on the hillside. Roshan is down. Ursa picks up the Aegis Immortal, was killed by the Radiant, and the Lone Druid Bear will also be lost. There isn't enough mana for a resummon, so Chechikan's going to back off the bot lane. As Big Numb, did he actually just try and snowball up to Penguin and get himself off the hillside?
Yes, he did.
Oh, balls.
Actually, just really well played by Ping again. He gets the Witch Doctor and CC puck so that the puck doesn't actually get his coil off in the fight, and secures the Rosh. And this is like the strength of the DB lineup. It's just really hard to fight into them. Ursa has a tough time in the laning stage here, just because he was trialing against and then didn't really have much time to recover, but obviously back in the game, and that Rosh is huge for them. Like this gets Ursa active now. Now he's once again in a position where he can really make an impact, and you're at this point now where DB is just way stronger than PR. So PR needs to wait for their Radiance. See, it's a problem too, because the Jug, if you look at his skill build, didn't go any points in critter stats, so he went all in on this early team fighting style, and I don't know if you could really get away with that against Oracle and Beastmaster with the strength of these two cores where it is right now.
This is giving me flashbacks to the DB polarity game. I guess it's nowhere near the scale as it was in Game 3 of DB polarity. Oh, sorry, I should say Game 2 because that never went to a third. It's just the fact that you don't have any real ways to counter early aggression, and DB are given free roam of the map. Like they've taken out now almost all the tier 1 towers. They're making their way up to the top lane to finish up that tier 1 tower, while Penguin, he's got BTs, so he can come and join the team if a full fight does break out. In the meantime, just keep the farm going, defensive spirit up, keep the bottom lane pushed down so PR can't even push through with the Lone Druid. They have to still give respect to Lone Druid's ability to mow through buildings if they do lose a fight. And Penguin, okay, they'll actually get the silence off. Walrus punch up. Can he have time to spirit himself away? Yep, the Death Ward's expended, and defensive spirit's done. And J4, he's hitting nothing as he lets that go.
Yep. And to bring up globals again, that has something else that also has something to do with just lane shove. So right there you saw, I mean, they're taking top tower as we speak, and they're going to be able to defend bottom because Ember's able to just protect this tower for 30 seconds by himself, and they can't kill him.
Not to mention, he just comes straight back to lane at almost full health to jump up, Searing Chains, and catch out J4. They know he doesn't really have a lot to work with, and Rise actually made the best choice there too. He kept his distance so the paralyzing can't let him bounce over. Their push results in a denied tier 1 tower on bot lane. Fortification will now be expended to get goddamn off their mid tier 1 tower.
And again, it all just comes back to the Ember Spirit. Like, they can't deal with him, whether he's exiting a fight or entering it. Ember dictates what PR is going to do. He's in, that means his team's behind him, they have to run away immediately. And if for him, when he's alone, he can just jump out with ease. So, and that's going to be an issue. No matter how farmed PR gets, they will never be able to stop Ember split pushing. And at a point, even Juggernaut won't be able to like go toe to toe with him, and that's where it's gonna be really scary. Now they have a DD picked up already with a Perseverance and Stash, so this is like a dream game so far for Ping. I think they're just gonna push up middle now. They have Necro 1 finished on the Beastmaster, soon to be Necro 2.
They may just try and kill off top lane.
Yep.
Like, that's the only other timing they're probably really going to be scared of is the lone druid's ability to pick up a Radiance. So, take out the tier 2 tower, take out his jungle. Cheshire Cat was very visible farming up here, and now they see him. They have a Hawk right on the top of him. So, run forward, start with a Roar. TP support's coming in from the Witch Doctor, so they have to actually space themselves out, but you've still actually got the false promise. G4 gets nuked down so hard by the Oracle. I don't even know how you stop that. Ursa's got a minute and a half left of, actually make it a minute now, worth of free time because he's still holding on to the Aegis Immortal. I mean, he's got a license to jump anyone he wants.
Look, just the mobility of DB is just so much stronger right now than PR. Like, they have a Blink on the, or sorry, bots on the Ember, Beastmaster Birds, Blink on the Ursa. Like, they can just play this guerrilla style so much more effectively than PR can, and PR is just going to play with way less information the entire duration of this game. It's going to be really difficult as the game progresses. I think a lot of this is just the mid lane. I mean, the lanes for PR went well, but Arias had such a poor time that his Blink came on really late, and he just hasn't been able to have an impact in the game. And you have, like, Puck needs one of those heroes that has to have a good game to be effective.
Yeah. Normally when you get that Blink Dagger, it's like an instant rotation, but like you also get the Blink Dagger on a Puck, he sets up for someone else, right? He's that jump into coil, you got a little bit of damage, but it's normally like, you almost have to have an isolated hero so Omnislash can do its work. Ace, be really careful, your Aegis Immortal just expanded as he's trying to make this fight happen. But then again, does he even care?
This is what I mean. In the meantime, Beastmaster's mid, just kind of watching that choke. Ember Spirit pushing bottom. So, I mean, if you subscribe or read any like ancient history about just like warfare, I mean, this is literally just divide and conquer. You know, hit them in different locations. In the meantime, now their bottom tower has to be defended. Their mid tower is gonna have to be defended. And Ursa, like, yeah, he was a little out of position, but as you can see, it doesn't really matter because with the option of the coil and the tusk. Where's their actual disable going to come from?
I don't know. I don't even know where the damage is meant to come from soon. Like, Oracle's almost finished up his mech. He's got so many different ways he can save DB if they do just jump in and go for a fight. Like, Rise is picking up so much damage as well. Like, not just like having his impetus, but you got earn charges, you got drum charges available. Like, the supports from DB. Initially, I was a little concerned that like Rise wouldn't really have that much of an impact, and Noya would end up just being like a safety hero. Like we've seen like these non-stun support dual combos that just haven't achieved anything, but they've now just hit that point where they give everything that DB cores require for them to go for any initiation they want to. There's a reason why we might sound really DB biased right now, but it's just because the DB, they've got this game by the balls, and I don't see a way where PR can break free.
Yep, and they're playing very well. You can just sort of see their style and their team play. I mean, all of their movement has been concise. They've been playing around their vision, their wards, or their birds, as you can see right now. So instead of pushing bottom, which would be the expected move, they've got vision through both a ward and a hawk that's now, boars rather, that are now scouting. And they already have the Ember there. So they're going to bait the Ember and try and catch them here. But PR will read it and back away, most likely because they know there's no one in the bottom lane. But still a very good move in my opinion, because even at worst, like the Ember's still farming, and every member of PR is now back in base. And it's just a really, that is a high level move. Because the best, anytime the enemy team's best scenario, their best decision is literally just to go into base, you've won. And now they're actually smoking out, knowing that Ember is ported bottom already. So this could be a good
they're going to find Beastmaster as well as Oracle. The dance seems to go off with a nice paralyzing cast. PR will finally get something going their way.
See, they make a good move and then they get cocky. Right there, no one's showing on your wards, your Ember's ported out. That's the perfect time for PR to make a move. And, I mean, it was a good decision by PR. They'll also get a tower. That was actually a big move for them. This gets the Radiance very, very close. He's actually going to have it if he last hits this tower. And that's a big item. We talked about that being very close to their timing.
This is exactly what you fear when you also go up against a lone druid lineup. How many times have we seen no diggity as well? Like they look behind and then they just have one really good fight, and then the lone druid. Like this is a lone druid who didn't have to do much to bring down that tier 1 tower, but next time around, he's going to have his Radiance up and running, the creep wave is probably going to be in a better position, and they can push for not just 1 but 2 towers when you have a powerful lone druid in your lineup. So yeah, DB have to be careful. Yes, they definitely have the advantage in the draft phase, they're definitely good advantage when it comes to poking and prodding every side of Power Rangers, and chipping away at them. They have to keep their objectives there. And looks like the next one's going to be Roshan. The Ember Spirit Illusion is going to scan out the very early spawn. And Ace is in the neighborhood. Like, he is so close. He's actually finishing up the Ancients as opposed to jumping in and taking Roshan.
So the big thing to note here is that the Radiance is... Oh, it's weird, but OD and Ursa actually have a lot in common, in a sense that they both just auto-attack and get stronger as they stay on one unit. But the one thing that's very effective against both is just mischance, and that's another reason this Radiance is so big, because Ursa won't have an MKB, Enchantress won't have an MKB, even Emperor won't have an MKB for a really long time. So effectively, the physical damage caused by Team Danish Bears just went down by nearly 20%, all because of this one item that will also accelerate Lone Druid's farm significantly. So it's a very crucial item, and if they... The Aegis timing is quite unfortunate, because it sort of shifts the balance of power back towards DB, so they won't want to fight, but... Ember doesn't have the Aegis, so the name of the game is going to be force him to make a mistake and kill the Ember Spirit. If they can do that, they'll win the fight. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. Basher picked up by the Ursa as well. Not what I would have chosen, but still a solid item.
Considering the Radiance is coming up, maybe it would have been a bad choice to go for the MKB
Radiant's top tower
over on the Ursa. That way you don't care too much, or you just get into a BKB. Oh, Arise. Oh, Arise. 51 seconds, he'll have to buy back. The lane's been pushed down the middle by the Radiance, but it's so far away from the towers that trigger Necro units. And there it is, the buyback comes out from Arise. The bear hoping for an entangle. He'll end up actually Savage roaring Rise back out. The sprites are up and the Untouchable's doing his quirk. This bear's also stranded thanks to Searing Chains. A big num. Oh, jumped him. Gets jumped in on by 8. And then Slider fisted down. The Dark Root Wave just spawned up, actually amplifying even more power. 8. He's going to survive on 30 HP. The Paralyzing Cask. Okay, maybe not. Wait, how did the Juggernaut actually kill him then? 100% certain. Either way, Noya now on the run out. Orion's going to throw the orb up. Find out at least one of these heroes. But Ace, he's back into the fight again. He may not have the Aegis, the Immortal now, but he's still got huge amounts of damage against Arise. But Ace is so low. With the Malediction on him, he's 100% dead now. He couldn't leech out the experience. They didn't take out the tier 3 tower, and now Penguin's even on the run. Doesn't have his Flame Guard available. He'll spirit up and down again, and he will get away from the Power Rangers lineup. But DB coming into the fight feeling confident with the Aegis, and they do not come out the victors.
Yep. Once again, they just get caught being over aggressive. The second puck buys back, you run away. It's 5. The end. You just run. Ember TP's out. You split push a bit and look for more pickoffs. But with the Radiance up now, like, DB cannot just push high ground into PR 5-on-5. It will not work, and you saw why. I mean, they have so many spells they can just throw out to kind of harass, as the Lone Druid Bears just kind of wreaking a little chaos. So then they catch a root, a good coil, shard block, whatever, a hero dies. And DB shines really in these quick pickoffs where they use their ults and they get out fast. And they still need to play that style until we talked about, like, the Ember is really online. So that'll mean the end his finished Manta plus 1 item. Then they can do what they just tried to achieve. But that really cripples their lead a bit. It's going to bring it from about 10k to closer to 5. Be completely even, so still definitely have a game on our hands.
Yeah, that we do. Here I was almost at a point where I was like, hey, okay, we can count our Power Rangers, but obviously not. Never doubt a team. So I want to see a little bit more influence from Goddamn. I'm actually, like, how did he get that kill on the Ursa? Like, the Aegis Immortal popped. Paralyzing Cast didn't bounce over to him, and it looks like he had enough life to get back up the hill.
Oh, Ursa just reinitiated. Or do you mean like as the to kill the Aegis?
Yeah, to kill the Aegis. Like he died on this little square right here. The Paralyzing Cask was over here, and it ran out of bounces, so it was basically going between those 2 heroes.
I think he died to the Maledict.
But that should give Witch Doctor the kill, right?
That's a good point. I have no idea.
Maybe it was just a random creep, like a random creep attack.
Exactly.
Followed him.
Yeah. That
actually,
could happen.
that's the only thing that really could have killed him. Now thinking about it.
Oh, it's okay. We can just rewind and see. Oh wait, we can't rewind. Oh, never mind. What a shame. All right. What do you think? What do you think will happen first? Dota 2 gets rewind functionality back on live games, or League of Legends gets solo queue back? And which would you prefer to go without?
I'm gonna tell you something off the air after we're done. Because if I say it on the air, it's just gonna cause so much fucking salt to rain from the skies. But either way,
I can't imagine that, man. How mad would Dota be if they just got rid of solo queue? Like just got rid of the ladder and just allowed it. And it just didn't exist. There'd be fucking rioting in the streets. Anyway, let's change the subject. Back to Dota. I want to talk about Ursa's Basher. It's not bad. It's just like it's in between. So there's like 3 options, right? There's the win now item, which was a BKB. Nullifies the radiance for the 10 seconds, allows him to just go in, screw the coil, probably just to kill the Witch Doctor every fight. Then there's the win much later item, which in my opinion is like an MKB. And that just gives you so much strength and obviously going to be effective. And then this one is sort of like in between, where he can now go for an Abyssal if he was to stay ahead, and back for a BKB if they were in a position where they felt they needed to force. But I think they might have recognized what they need to do, and it's tough for your other heroes to, or players to understand it. And part of the reason like we don't run this sort of style and complexity a lot is because we like to play more team Dota. And in reality, DB's like main focus right now is let the Ember Spirit farm. If he doesn't fuck up, we'll win for sure. And that's just like a weird place to be in Dota right now. And not a lot of people are comfortable with it, so we'll see how DB feels.
Oh. Maybe they are just trying to take a leaf out of MV's book, because that's exactly the type of play that he plays in secret. Like it's the, you know what guys, I understand you guys can actually pull off some amazing stuff, you just keep buying me space and I will win the game, have faith in the summer. But you're gonna reach your point soon, especially now the Diffuser Blade is done over on the Juggernaut. The Ember Spirit won't have his Flame Guard to protect himself. It's no longer guaranteed.
He also chose to go Manta here. It's somewhat good. You can disjoint like Tusk Punch and Snowball, Witch Doctor Cask, and Punch Silence you can remove, but I feel like it was one of those situations where he's already safe enough. I would have much rather see him pick up a Blink and just start doing work with it, because he can pressure so hard with the Blink right now. Like he could actually blink into base, force Snowball, and still obviously get out safely. Without the Blink, he can't be near as aggressive. And also, I just think crit or MKB is so huge on your Ember here. Probably just crit, even with the Radiance.
He actually did finish up the full Abyssal Blade, so he's not backing down from it. He bought the entire thing.
Shit. And if you look at their style, it's fine, honestly. They play around it. Ember in the side lanes, Beastmaster scouting with maybe an Ench farming behind him, and then the Ursa looking for solo kills as well. Because Ursa takes out pretty much everything, maybe the Juggernaut, to be honest, I'm not sure. Who also actually bought a Diffusal on Jug. I like that.
Yeah. It's just gonna be to count the Ember Spirit, right?
No, I actually think it's more for the Ursa. It's actually quite good against all of their heroes, because you can purge off Fate's Edict from Oracle, which is a 4.5 second disarm. You can purge to kill off summoned units, like the Necro Books. You can purge off Ember's Shield, and specifically, when Ursa uses his ults and then gets out of whatever disable he was in, you can just purge him and run the hell away, because you never want to fight Fuzzy Wuzzy when he's enraged.
Maybe this is the other upside though we haven't really talked about for the DB lineup. Like when you do approach the late game, you can be looking at these full 10-second BKBs coming their way. Like we're 30 minutes in, if you bought a BKB now, by the time we hit that 40-50 minute mark in the fights, like your BKBs can be down about 5 seconds. But if Ursa does go for the BKB as his next primary item, then PR still have to deal with the 10 seconds worth of disable after Ember has hit a lot sweeter of a spot with his damage output, aka looking for that Crystallis into Daedalus.
Big smoke by PR. This was not scouted either. I like this rotation as well, because they're just kind of hoping that the Ember comes up here, who's also actually out of spirits. So at the worst, they should get an objective here. At best, it might be a kill and an objective. No buyback on him either, by the way.
Penguin gonna fall for it? The Observer Ward is up, and yeah, they're being very not certain about the whole. Very deep defensive spirit. He'll slide a fist, he'll chain up. Smoke will now break, but remember we're still in nighttime, so Penguin's vision is very, very restricted.
But like this is the problem, you know? Even they can't kill him before he remnants out. Which just makes it so much harder to kill a hero like Ember, because you need to be thinking about 2 places he's gonna be. And in the meantime, his team can just run around his 4 with total map dominance. And Ember, like, there aren't many heroes that can just stop a lone druid-centered team just in their tracks to the point where they're not even willing to try and push a tower. And that's really, again, just the power of Ember Spirit in this game. Like, the Ursa did not have a good game, but he's had just as much space as he could possibly want in this game. So he's caught up and now number 2 in net worth.
Well, they're going to have something else in a moment. Let's see if they can find this kill. 4 heroes smoked by a DB. The creep wave behind him means the Ember Spirit can join them. The Power Rangers, I don't know if they've just felt this coming, they definitely didn't scout it out. They are hiding inside their own base at the moment.
Yep.
They
haven't
pushing
seen
out.
these other heroes for so long. They have to be afraid.
They smoke up. Etsucho's going to walk down. Noya, they try and get the control off. Goddamn was roared up. The mech charge. How long does DB really have from this fight? The snowball also making it difficult to J4 with that paralyzing cast as well as Death Ward. Noya will 100% pop from this. Penguin comes in and does actually get the disable to get rid of Death Ward as Ace keeps bailing out. They'll accept the casualty of these 2, possibly 3 heroes, including Arise, but Penguin, okay, he's going back in. The paralyzing cast won't bounce over. He'll trigger with the Mana Style, trying to cause a couple more problems and then Spirit away. So he doesn't actually save Arise. He may have done enough damage, the PR may not feel confident enough just to go in for Roshan. But then again, you got a lone druid. Buybacks are being expended, in fact, double buybacks are being expended. They do not want Roshan in the hands of PR.
Yeah. It's gonna be Roche too, maybe. Maybe not. That's a double buyback for nothing as well. That's
it's a buyback
big
for
investment.
Roshan. That has to be it. Like this just to stop DB from getting the Aegis.
I think that's a pretty even move, but there was just an AC finished on Lone Druid before they took that fight, and that's like completely counterintuitive to the type of style I've been saying DB needs to employ here, because they just straight up ran into a 5-on-5 engagement. They had no time to skirmish, and they just got 3-man coil, 3-man snowball, 3-man beard, and everyone just kind of dies. They want Ember to be poking with the enemies, forcing them to like move and chase, then they just kind of kill everything. But if you're initiating a fight before your Ember's even there, it's not what you want. You want like a slight or 2 to sort of open the fight, and you especially don't want to do it right as the enemy team runs into you with all the items they freshly purchased. Also, didn't mention this, but Puck went for a second item Midas. He had that around like 13 minutes. So even though he had a terrible laning stage, he's ahead of the Beastmaster, which even though it's the off lane is kind of his comparable hero right now, and he's going to scale a lot better than he will because of the blink pickup on the Beastmaster instead of the bots, as well as of course the Midas.
Someone's going to have to come back up to that top lane. Manta Illusions, of course, is going to be the Ember to do it. I know we keep watching PR having really successful fights. We're watching Lone Druid now also be an arse with his bear. But how exactly do PR even end this? Like, you keep your side lanes pressured, but Penguin is just going to take it out every single time. They've had 2 great fights, but most of these fights have happened within range of where the tier 2 towers used to be on their side of the map.
Yep. It's like we talked about, like DB, they're still in a good spot, honestly. They've just kind of thrown away their advantage, but their advantage is the same no matter what. It's the Ember Spirit, but the way to play this game properly was to just kind of keep the map at like 60, 40, 70, 30 until they were at a perfect timing and every hero was just super fat, and then you go and just hope you win a team fight. But the plan's going to be the same. It's just going to be really hard now, man, because Lone Druid's got a lot of items, and I don't know, man. Jug too, honestly. Jug's catching up. He got a blink. There's a DD bottom. Puck's gonna have either Ags or Hex pretty soon, and then they can actually kill the Ember. So I expect a Hex from Arise, but Ags isn't bad either when you have a Lone Druid.
Especially a Lone Druid. Well, yeah. A good way to stop Ursa from freely walking around, because he'll actually have something to pierce that magic immunity. Ace just finished up his BKB. They're sitting back at base at the moment though, so he doesn't have it on him. Instead he's holding on to that TP scroll of his. And even if you know what, like, what else would you even drop? Like, would you really drop your Mask of Madness to hold on to a TP scroll?
No, you would. He has to drop the TP.
Then they can't get caught out. Like, but then you get Nimble Spirit, so yeah, why am I even concerned?
But see, that's the thing. DB kind of has to be concerned. Their Ember's free, but problem is this Ursa. Like, he matches up well against Doug specifically, but he gets kited super hard. And if there's an Ags, it pretty much depends on what Arise wants to do. If he goes Hex, it's for the Ember. If he goes Ags, it's for the Ursa. And it's just a question of what hero they're more concerned with right now. Daedalus and a DD on the Ember Spirit. This is a good time to smoke and just look for a team fight.
They found goddamn outside the base. He gets instantly nuked and Arise got caught in the searing chains. He couldn't jump away straight away. He has to Yule Scepter himself up. The Lone Drill Bear is also a little bit too close. As Ace, he really wants Arise. He's going to get it as well as the Druid Bear.
Gem.
There is a resummon available. Now Arise is going to pick up that gem. Because the problem is they don't have their creep wave.
Both have buybacks, however.
But yeah, you could force both of them anyway. That's still a victory here for DB. That slows down that Scythe of Vice.
See, and this is where Ping, like, screw your buyback, man. Put the cheese on the courier, buy a blink. That is, I guarantee you, that's what... I don't want to talk about it, but he has a blink and a DD right now. He can actually just blink and kill a Witch Doctor. Instead, he's going to be way less able to pressure. This is still, obviously, lots of damage output, though, so this will be a big fight.
Rise jumps forward, goes for the Yule Scepter. Ace is looking for his target. Paralyzing Count's going to bounce down to the Great Wave, but J4, he's the one who actually goes in for himself to stay alive. The help from Noya had to be given to Ace fairly early on. They've only taken the tier 3 tower. The Juggernaut will respawn up in 5 seconds time. The Shard's almost killing off Ace. He's got the Aegis to the Immortal, so they're trying to heal him up, so maybe they can jump in again, but... Oh, time to back out the tier 3 tower. You at least forced one buyback out from the puck.
The really big thing there was that Arise Yules off the Flame Guard and the DD. Otherwise, that's a very different fight from DB.
Coming in again. They're actually running at PI, who are 5 men up with every ulti available.
I think they should just target the bear here. They know they have a window of about 60 more seconds. Well, wow, only 40 more seconds, with which this is the only bear available. But they don't have Roar. Oh, now they have Roar. No Necro look, though. Aegis should be fading soon. I didn't take a timer. DB might want to force this.
It's fading in 2 seconds.
Yeah, they're just going to back then.
Yeah, without that Aegis, they don't have the advantage in these fights anymore. Just get the hell out. Again, you still force the buyback over on the puck. So that early side to help control up the Ember Spirits can delay it even further, allowing Penguin to actually farm up even more. I'm still with you as well with that Blink Dagger. Like, I can see exactly how it's going to help him out. But at the moment, he's still got 3.7k gold. Holding on to that much money, maybe he's also worried about having his buyback. He's got 300 gold to actually have that buyback.
Oh, another DD. Yeah. I really don't like seeing Embers play without Blink. I know I've beaten this point to death, but you'll watch Sumal and Envy. There's a game, they very rarely play without it on this hero. It just enables you to play that in and out style so much more effectively. Yeah.
Smoke's gonna break, Hawk sees him, they charge up on the cliff side, then real intense. Joe is over on the side farming, and J4 instantly mowed down by Ace, up to cover the BKB. Orion also, Raw blinked up by Hester Joe. They try and Savage Roar and get him away from Cheshire Cat, but False Promise allows Hester Joe to continue to fight. They haven't lost anyone yet. Cheshire Cat will now drop. DB keeping all 5 heroes alive until finally the Juggernaut will finally find one kill on the Beastmaster. But PR, they thought they had the opening. They expected a lot of abilities up on that hillside, but they guessed poorly.
I was about to make a point, like, a lot of this game is going to be on Arise. He had 1,000 health in that fight, so if he gets all his spells off, he can be huge, but he gets Abyssaled, he gets Roared, he gets Changed. He might just die immediately, and that's exactly what happened. And without his abilities, there's just no control, and everyone just kind of has to turn tail and run. And that's going to be melee Rax at least in this mid lane. Might be able to get tier 3 bottom, and potentially actually force for Rax. They know Puck has no buyback.
They're already moving
does,
top.
He's using it.
They're running up to the top lane instead.
Bottom is 400 lower, but top works too. They should be able to get this tower at least. I'd say push for melee Rax. They don't glyph down.
They managed to take the range Rax to get some like solid damage, but then J4. Okay, that wasn't even with a blink, but he could reach him with a sleight of fist. Okay, yeah, now definitely take immediately. God, that is just brutal.
That's a double Daedalus now on the Ember, and like this is their timing to be scary. So now for like the next 20 minutes, DB's in the driver's seat. The timing for PR now is like stealing an Aegis, having an Abyssal Blade on the Jug, and Lone Druid having like an Abyssal Blade or something too. Like they pretty much need both of their cores to get another 10k gold so that they can deal with this Ember Spirit.
That's it's a pretty tall ask, man. Like, they would require DB to almost fountain dive for that kind of money. And it's a quick Roshan respawn too, under a minute. For Roshan's, this will be fourth one I think of the game.
I think only third, but you might be right. No, sorry, there was a cheese. It's the fourth. Yep, yeah, you're right. Yeah. They just have a lot of Roshes. That's what Ursa does, man. It just accelerates the timing of when Roche becomes in the game. Again, it's like something you watch a lot of top teams do. Something like I harp on my team about sometimes, like EG, you watch them play, they have so much emphasis on Roche, and almost all of their dire strats involve some way to do it, and just gives you a big advantage. You know, this game was relatively even, and then Roche just kind of put DB in a situation where they can take fights whenever anyway, and
I always find it funny with like the Roshan timings. Like we thought exactly the same thing at TI. Like at TI, it went from Roshan meaning absolutely nothing to Roshan meaning absolutely everything in the space of one tournament. And they just smoked on top of a Radiant Observer ward. They didn't look beforehand.
This Ember, MKB on Ursa, double crit on Ember, just gonna do so much damage.
Ace has to give his cheese to someone else. Give it to Ryze. Ryze could use it, Noya could use it, anyone else could use it. He gave himself the TP scroll as opposed to Monkey King bar. Whoops. Power Rangers. They just can't even catch a break. They can't even keep a ward up. Ball underneath the sentry. Now they break their smoke. And DP want to slip into Roshan. As far as the dire side goes, they're sending the Sigil once again. The Sigil timing has been pretty damn good from Big Num. Every time like they're even looking at Roshan, that Sigil is hovering around it. But it's Hawk. They leave Ace inside the pit. PR's on the way down. The Hawk is still up there. And I can see them all rotating in. Here comes the Necrobox, the bear, running to the front lines. Damn, that bear's going to be quite low. Omni Slash will happen, but he's in the middle of the entire DB lineup. So almost all the damage is negated, but Orion gets a great ulti off until Big Num. Abyssal Blade is up. The spin of goddamn use defensively. The Death Ward's doing some work. But then again, now that Ace comes forward as well as Pinkman, they're going to lose their entire team before that work can even be realized. In fact, that work was completely negated by Noya's false promise. This is Cheshire Cat's last bear. That was just resummoned too. If they can kill this damn thing, 90 HP. Where's the recall? They can't get it off. There's no bear for another 102 seconds. That could actually just be the game right there after Roshan's done. Push bottom lane, go.
That was a great initiation too. There was a coil and a silence on 4. It just doesn't matter, man. They have so much damage. Ember Spirit almost one-shot the Witch Doctor again. And it's just like, how do you can't deal with this hero. And because you can't deal with Ember Spirit, he can play super aggressive, which then allows the fucking Abyssal Blade MKB Ursa to just choose somebody to eat for breakfast, and you just kind of lose the fight. No bear, as you said, for 60 now, so it's probably GG, to be honest.
LPL will still have a second chance. This is a full best of 3 for the lower bracket final. So it's not over. No fat ladies are allowed to sing. It's pretty damn close.
I mean, I hate to call the guy out. I love Arise, good player, but he is not a puck, and this is just
it's
not
a really hard lane for him as well, though. Like,
yeah, it's
like the Ember Spirit did like shit all over him, and now
he misplayed though. He was out CSing the Ember. He just was too aggressive and got killed, which you can do on Arise heroes, Mag, Invoker, etc. You can't do it on Puck and now Ember. Like, just look at Ember Spirit, man. He's just gonna kill everything.
Yeah. With the help of the Ursa, GG. You can say goodbye to the entire PR lineup. What actually ended on for the Ember? Ember was 12, 2, and 9. Like, his net worth almost cracked the 30k mark. That just looks really nice for a DB first game.
Hero, Unsung hero is the Oracle. He got his level 6 just in time for that first Roche, which is really good heads-up play. A big part of the reason they won that fight so convincingly. Obviously, the Ember and Ursa did work, but I think that the supporting cast of DB was solid, and they just played overall good Team Dota. I think PR for Game 2